That's me meditating. You guys hear it. There's such a value and a power in the art of breathing, in the art of relaxation, in the art of going inside and taking a moment to connect with self. But don't just take it from me. We have the one and only Fimo Mitchell on with us from When the Village Meditates. He's going to be deep diving, letting us know just about the power of meditation. And he's going to be talking a bit about his event coming up. We're all looking forward to it. You guys just stay tuned, sit back, relax. Not too relaxed because some of you guys are in your cars, but just be ready to be uplifted today on the Empower Hour.
I think this is me.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We bring power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Blessed melanated rising, my beautiful people. I am so grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to our ancestors for creating this opportunity for us to be able to be on here this morning. And I just ask that the time that we spend, let it be very uplifting, let it be encouraging, let it be entertaining, but most importantly, let it be empowering for each and every one of our listeners, for all the kings and the queens who are out there. And I'm just sending out that spirit of love. I'm sending out that spirit of light. I'm sending out that spirit of unity, that spirit of encouragement, bravery, courage, strength as we're going through it in these times. Thank you, ancestors, for just being present here with us. Hotep, amen, and ashe. We're coming back to ourselves. We're regrouping, regrounding, guys. The guest that we have on with us today, our brother Fimo Mitchell. He's hosting this amazing event. We're out for joy, guys. This is going to be exceptional. We're going to deep dive with him right now on our Parlay with the People segment. And guys, but everything is timely. Like I'm just saying, this is the type of week I've had. This is the type of life that we're having. This is where we're going. It's just about revelation. It's about eye-opening. It's about just being confident, being bold, understanding the spirit is taking full control, where life is coming back to what it was. I'm encouraging this era of matriarchy. I'm tired of this patriarchy and this ego nonsense. Let's just get back things to how it was. Guys, stay tuned. It's about to be another awesome one here on the Empower Hour.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people, y'all.
Yes, people. And we are back. You might hear in my tone, I sound relaxed, don't I? I feel relaxed. I feel like I sound more relaxed than normal.
It's not your normal high pitch.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm saying, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have a very special guest with us today. So it's like I'm just setting the example. I've been listening. I've been listening. I've been learning. We have the one and only Fimo Mitchell. Welcome, my brother. Thank you for being with us.
Now you're overdoing it.
What do you say?
You're overdoing it.
Too much?
Yeah, now it's getting lower and lower.
Yeah.
I said Fimo Mitchell.
I'm setting the tone. What are you saying, Jill?
You have never a day in your life.
Oh my gosh! You see this,
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Yo,
I'm happy y'all have me here.
Yo, you here?
I feel very, very fortunate to be in this lovely studio.
Thank you, man. It's a blessing. So, I talk about it all the time. How I do enjoy meditating every single day. I am subscribed to When the Village Meditates. You guys check it out on Spot. Well, I tune in on Spotify, but I think it's on other platforms too. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, wherever you get your podcast from, it's on there.
That's what I do. So before we dive in, my brother, can you just take a moment just to introduce yourself, your background, for those who might not know who Fimo Mitchell is, because it's like we've had you on the show before, but we're blessed to have you now in studio with us. So please, let's deep dive a little bit. We got time.
We got time. Well, my name is Fimo Mitchell, as you said. Born and raised here in Montreal. Lachine to be exact. I like to
specific.
I like to represent Lachine. I say that because I'm from Lachine, and then I end up living in China. So it's something interesting about that. You know,
right.
something interesting about
Lachine.
that. Yeah, Lachine. You know what I mean? So
I think I used to call it the county of Lachine because I had a couple friends there, and when I go there, I was like, "Do you guys have a sheriff in this town?"
Yo,
Because it has an old timey feel
Yo,
to it.
you're.
That's
I was
right.
literally there
That's
last
right.
night. I was literally there last night, and as I'm walking down with my homegirl Crystal, I'm like, yo, feel like this place feels like a little town. She's like, yep.
Yes.
I was like,
And that's
damn.
exactly what I used to tell it to. I was like, where's your sheriff for your town?
Hey, listen, us Lachiners, les Lachinois, les Chinoises.
We the Lachiners,
Oh yeah. We,
the Lachine congregation,
Hey,
delegation.
Hey, listen, you know how embarrassing it is when I remember doing my first book launch, and I thought Lachine was going to come out in big numbers because I'm from Lachine. So I did a whole like, hey, who here is from Uptown Côte d'Ivoire? Yeah. Who's from DG? You know, who's from LaSalle, Texas? Whatever.
Yeah.
Who's from Vegas and Chateauguay? And I said, but now we all know the best.
Oh, not the setup.
Who is from Lachine? It was like
Woo!
3 people with the loudest voices.
Yes.
And it was like 2 of them were my sisters. Just embarrassing.
But the whole Lachine did show up.
Yeah.
No.
Stop it.
There's a lot. No, don't do that, Gene.
You know?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, when you factor in
Listen. Don't do that. There's a lot of
the
us.
geographics,
There's a lot of us.
Yes.
There's a great people have come out of Lachine.
Talk about it.
I
Great people.
have a great from Lachine.
There you go. There you
I have
go.
Who
great
sent you a
friends
bag,
from
by the way?
Lachine.
Remind me, I have your bag in the car. In my
I
bag.
appreciate it.
All right, cool.
So yeah, from
Yes.
Lachine, lived in China for like 16 years.
Okay.
And that's when I started writing books.
I'm sorry. What led you to move to China?
Yeah.
Oh, I was really frustrated. I was young, black, and frustrated. I couldn't, like when you graduate from university, I was in journalism, right? I wanted to do news and not sports.
Right.
At that
were
time, they assume if you're a black man, you're going to do sports.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, so I did my last internship in the States at ABC News in DC.
Okay.
And, it
Also,
was,
a proper internship.
yeah, it was good. I mean, I was doing news. But when I come back here, I'm just the black guy that should be doing sports. And so I couldn't get a job at like CTV or Global or CBC. And so I said I wasn't going to stay here and work telemarketing like a bunch of other black graduates.
Yep.
Were highly educated, but we ended up doing customer service jobs. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I had too much pride. I said I would look for something online. I came back in July, saw something online in like end of August, September. October 1st, I was in China.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Good for you for taking a leap, though.
That's it.
Oh, I'm crazy.
100%.
Like I tell people all the time, Pharaoh got to know me a little bit. I don't worry about when you grow up with skinheads and like crazy Quebecois people calling you like the N word every day and stuff like. I don't know. There's not much that can like what.
Where I go from here? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. So yeah, I went out there.
Is that in the town of Lachine? Those skinheads that were.
That review high school now. But then the interesting thing about those skinheads, when hip hop reached the French high school that I went to, they became big fans of hip hop. So I'm not saying
They
what
start growing their hair. and
they
all
want
of
to
a
be.
sudden-
They want to look like. They want to be us.
Right, yeah.
It's a weird thing. So that's why it's we can talk about
I know
that.
I digressed a lot in there. Sorry about that.
No, it's
So you
fine.
decided to go to
It's fine.
China.
But yeah, so I was out in China for like 16 years. And so I wrote books and I taught, obviously. But it's also, I had a chance to travel. I lived in small villages a lot, like small towns.
That's cool.
And so that's where the influence of the monasteries, the monks and temples. And so learning by osmosis, I guess, hanging out with all these monks all the time, you start sitting different, and you start,
Keep your back straight. Like,
yeah.
Then your
And,
chi
Literally,
flow.
as you said, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right? I know. We're really relaxing here.
and then I went to India for the first time, 2009, and blew my mind. And that's when I started to really meditate more, like really get into it. And, to fast forward, I started practicing on me and saw the change it was having on me. And then I thought about my colleagues, like teachers were often stressed out. And then we wonder why the kids aren't doing what they need to be doing, or they're not behaving the way we feel they should be behaving. And so I started teaching teachers how to meditate. And then I think 2015, I started working with kids for after school, mindfulness club. The kids started with sleeping club, but I didn't mind. I was like, Because at the end of the day, rest is important.
Exactly.
You know,
You meditate in your sleep.
Hey,
Like
it's a start. My
yeah.
thing is, it's a start. They get out of the doing and just understand being for a moment. Even if they just get 5 minutes, it's more than they would have had the whole day.
But a restful mind is a better mind. And if you need the sleep, if you fell asleep, it's because you need the sleep.
That's why I used to always tell them, you need to sleep. So yeah, I started doing that in 2015. And then 2019, I came back here with the intention of starting a meditation center for us,
Right.
you know, within the community. So I was really excited about that. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing since coming home.
And you came back that 2019. So you came back right
Just in
before the
time.
world shut down. You came back before the wave.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
That was energy right there.
I
Clearly.
know. Now, in hindsight, do you feel that was a positive or a negative? Like in China, like how life was out there, and then coming out here and seeing how the world shut down. Like, would you have preferred to be in shutdown there, or were you happy to be?
I was happy to be shut down here. Yeah.
Okay.
Because China got real racist. There was always undertones.
Right.
But it just got really, like, a lot of my black friends that were still there.
Okay.
They were like, we gotta get out of here.
Right. Okay.
Like they're just not even trying to act like, you know, like they don't like us.
Got it. Like the
You
gloves
know.
are off now. They're like,
I saw a video about that.
Yeah,
and because then they started trying to say that the African people were the reasons. And they were kicking them out of grocery stores and all kinds of things. Like, it got crazy.
When like there's no African nation that has like a COVID pandemic. I don't know. Find me one.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like,
Talking facts.
you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know.
But it's the underdog, right? The whole world was doing the whole anti-Asia thing,
Right. So they had to find someone else to scapegoat.
Facts.
And they found, and you know, that's the thing I realized around the world. Everyone thinks they're better than the African. Like even in India, where I've seen poverty that I've never seen in Africa. Like, I've never seen poverty like this in certain parts of India. And they still know they're better than us.
Wow.
They still think.
In their mind. They're like, and I'm like, y'all really?
Yeah.
And my thing is, I have no desire to be better than you. But I'll be damned, you're gonna act like you're better than me. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what I realized around the world. Like, this whole like colonization did one heck of a thing. Like, it made people actually believe,
even within themselves, within the Indians,
that's
the
what I'm
caste
saying.
system within them too.
Africa as well. Like,
100%.
All the bleaching stuff in the West Indies, like it's all over. South America, I've seen, everywhere you realize this is serious. Like this is, and you know that this is the result of colonization.
Right.
Yeah.
This and the fact that whiteness is the standard. I mean, that's the part that kills me all the time. 'Cause I'm like, how could they be the standard of anything?
Yeah, thank you.
Like anything.
Yeah.
I mean, legit. I mean anything. Like, name me a topic. I'm like, how can they be the standard?
It's like
Say
anything.
philosophy.
Yeah.
How can they
Philosophy
be the
specifically,
standard?
because the great philosophers that are known, they always talk about the Greek philosophers
Who took everything from Egypt?
Who took everything from Africa.
So stop it. Like,
And
So
so-
stop everything. Yeah, the standards, everything. Cleanliness standards, any standards, health standards, education standards, everything. Anyways, not to knock our, like our white brothers and sisters, but it's just like, I like to call it melanin deficient and melanin dominant, right? Melanin dominant, melanin deficient. I don't think there's anything wrong about that, because, especially the fact that people seem to be comfortable calling people minorities. So that's when I look at it, I'm like, well, look, because we have a certain amount of melanin, it does give us a certain understanding, a certain connection to everything. It's like, and those who are a little deficient, it shows. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I think that right now as a people, and like, I like that we're talking about it, because I feel there's a shift in consciousness. We're starting to understand that way. Like, we've been setting our standards completely wrong based off of those who are still are in control, so to speak.
Yeah.
But now there's a certain consciousness that's starting to wake up within people, where we're like, no, wait, we're going to actually start just using our own logic, our own common sense, and realize that, no, we actually are a dominant species. We're a powerful species. We're very intellectual. We create most things, like, if not everything. Everything you could trace back and find the actual black inventor, the black person, maybe the lesser dominant person was able to patent it and implement it into a system that they control.
Right.
But that, that never, anyways. Let's digress. Let's come back.
No,
I'm going down a rabbit hole. But,
I mean, I think it's all connected, though. I think that's why it's so important to understand, who you are. And I say this, having said all this, like, black male from Montreal, from Lachine, I know you love Lachine.
I'm not saying none else.
Like
y'all got water though. Y'all got some good water space. That's some good real estate.
I grew up near the water, you know.
Right.
That's good real estate,
you know,
and it's good for healing too. So y'all probably better people for it.
But having all those like labels, right, identifiers, those social identifiers, all of that, I will say, still doesn't explain who I am. Though. Like it just, and that was the journey. To me, that was the journey in Asia. It was to get to the core of who I am. Beyond like when I let go of my name, even like just I am. Just stay there for a moment. Like I am, and the first meditation I ever recorded, a friend said you should record a meditation. I said, if this is my last one, there's only one thing I want people to understand. Is that before they're a doctor, a lawyer, before they're black, white, before they're male, female, whatever, transgender, non-binary, whatever, before that, I am. Like before that's and sit there for a moment and start there, because there's something that happens when you meditate on just I am. You let go of everything else for a moment. Now, I'm not saying let's be colorblind, all that sort of stuff. We just talked about racism, colonization, like, you know, because some people, they'll accuse someone who's like, meditation, yoga, spiritual, you're spiritual bypassing. I don't believe in that. Like I believe in talking about race and all this stuff head on.
Right, yeah.
But I know that I'm not gonna be limited by that.
Right.
I know that it's much more. There's much more.
But and correct me if I'm wrong. Well, not when you reach a certain level of meditation, you can turn a little colorblind in a sense where, because when we think about meditation and whatnot and yoga, it was like, oh, that's granola white people, that's some hippie white people stuff. But in all reality, the reason why they got to tap into that is because they didn't have the same baggages that we carry, or the same baggage, baggage is not word, the same baggage that we carry as black people, and we're worried about all this other stuff that you can't, like, it's like, I don't have time to stop and meditate. So now there's other people who don't carry the same baggage, who's just like, I'm at a place in my life now where I can focus on the I am. I could focus on the me. I could focus on the spiritual growth that I can do because I don't have all the rest of this baggage. And then maybe they come out and you're just like, well, you can't be colorblind because there's all these words going on in life. And it's like, yeah, but once you get to a certain enlightenment, you see past the petty, because all this is petty. Right. And so now I'm seeing more and more black people get into it the same way they're getting into therapy, like they're getting into meditation and they're getting into understanding what that is, and they're allowing themselves the privilege to meditate and to start dropping the baggage. And it's not just a white people thing. We all need it, you know?
I mean, I don't think it was ever, I think that's part of the lie, you know, like Angela Davis was meditating when she was in prison. A lot of people don't know that. Like, she was doing yoga. A lot of people don't know that. You know, like, you know, you look at what, like, Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife went to India in the 50s. Like, in the 50s. In the 50s. You know, like, they were on that way very early. And there's a lot of black people that were on that way very early, actually. But they keep it. Yeah, they don't talk about that.
That's it.
And so there's always been, and also you have to look at the Rastas in Jamaica or other people that choose to be, I don't want to be part of this system. You know, that's to me, that's yogic vibes right there. That's saying, no, I want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that stuff. Like, and we have that within the diaspora. There's always been that. There's always been people that will sit stillness and, you know, whatever word we want to put on it. There's always been that, and I think it's for us to understand that that's part of our lineage as well. You know, and
a lot of our history was stolen, so we don't understand. What's part of our actual, you know, lineage, as you say, and our practices that we did, and that it was part of the practices that we did. But a lot of that was stolen and or erased.
And then there's nothing wrong with, like, I always feel like I'm a citizen of Earth, so I'm like, if I learn something in India that helps me, I'm gonna use it.
100%.
Like, this is from indigenous tribe in northwest Australia. Like, when they gave it to me, I'm like, where? Is it technically, quote unquote, African? No. But for me, I don't, And that goes back to how one sees oneself, you know. I'm black, I'm male, all these things are very true. But at some point, we have to transcend that, you know. And by transcend, it doesn't mean you forget.
No.
Because being black and male, being black and women has very real consequences.
Yeah.
Being black, male, and poor has very real consequences, right? Being black, female, and poor being black and transgender has very real consequences. We can't ignore that.
Right, yeah.
So we can do both, though, you know, like, and that's what, for me, meditation is about, is cultivating the space to hold these things that we have to hold at times. Like, we have to hold things that are heavy. Like, we can't just hold the pleasant.
Right, yep.
So how do we hold these things? Meditation is a way to learn how to hold it. Sometimes we hold on to things too tightly.
Okay.
Like, we love someone, and we don't want them to leave. We don't want it to change, and we cling.
Right. But it's
Attachment.
too much. You're
It's
smothering
too
the
much.
person. Yeah.
That's not good. And then the stuff that's unpleasant, we like develop aversion to it. We don't want it. We don't want to even look at it. We don't want to, and that's creating stress as well. Either way, it's stress.
Right.
So the key is, can we? And in meditation, you know, when you sit in meditation, the mind's going to take you down some roads, perhaps. Can you sit through it, though? Even when the mind tells you, this is useless, this is boring. Can you sit through that? Because who's saying it's boring?
Right.
It's not the I am saying that. I can go out on a limb and say, I guarantee you, it is not the I am that's saying this is boring.
Right. Yeah. It's the mind.
It's this egoic mind that's like a radar that just scans the environment for danger, right? And if there's no danger, it gets bored. There's no problem to fix. There's no problem to fix in the present moment. Like, what is the mind going to fix when I'm just sitting here?
Right, yeah.
And so it's going to create some drama. And can I sit through the drama of the mind?
That it creates.
Can I sit through the aches? Because if I can sit through that in life, when the waves come, and they will come.
Yeah.
And they'll go, all these, like, the waves will come. Can I sit through that as well? While, if I choose to march, I march. If I choose to protest in this way, if I choose to boycott, I boycott. If I choose to write letters, to whatever I choose to do.
Right.
But I'm doing it from a place of stillness, of love, and not from a place of like, you enemy.
That's interesting, because I think one of my problems when I meditate is that, because you're finally like stopping, and then I started thinking like, oh, I gotta get like this at the grocery store, and then it's like, oh well, let me go write that down before I forget it. So you come out your meditation, it's like, oh, you go back to that. It's like, oh no, but while you're here, you got some things, and it's like, it's when you finally get that stillness, all the thoughts come into your mind, and it takes you out. So it's very interesting to have to say like, push through that and like, you know, stay in it, you know.
I had an interesting meditation experience this past week, actually, because
Me too, actually.
in normal circumstances, so I'm conscious of the fact that the goal of meditation is to stop thought. So I go in there and my intention is to not to think about anything, and all right. But for some reason, in that void, I thought of something that upset me. Like, it brought me back to, like, and I was like, oh man, I was like, why am I thinking about this? And I'm trying to not, to the point where I actually like opened I was vexed. I came out of I'm like, yo, how did I come out of meditation angry? I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, daggone it, I'm vexed. I'm like, yo, why did I think about that? And like, so I like, it was the weirdest experience. I was talking about it this week. I'm like, yo, I had a vexed meditation. I was like,
is that the goal of meditation, to void your mind?
No.
Yeah, because
that was mine. I'm always like, yo, stop thought. Like, I'm in here to just, because I always interpret it like it's my time, because I'm conscious of my physical and my spiritual side, right? So I always look at it as meditation. It's the time for my physical to pause, for my spirit to breathe.
Okay.
So that's why
I'm like, spirit, it's part of your spirit breathing is speaking with your higher self and the metaphysical world.
Right, but I'm not thinking. I'm just feeling. I more feel through my spirit, and I think through my body. So that's why when I go into meditation, I intentionally, I'm like, my goal in my body, you pause, spirit, you do what you need to do. And a lot of times I'll put out an intention before I go into meditation, like I intend X amount, where I intend this time of day, I intend whatever, and then I stop thought, because I don't want to think about how I'm going to manifest. I don't want to. Yeah. That's not my job. Like, it's my spirit's job to make things happen. Like, you know, so that's really what it is. So, but it was the weirdest thing. Like, and I'm glad I'm seeing you. How's that happen, Fimo? Why did that happen? Wait,
I want to hear Kaya's weird meditation, and then you can give us all some answers about what we're doing wrong.
So I'm I'm not really new to meditation, as my mom's brother, my uncle, he was actually Buddhist. So meditation was something that was very familiar to me in my home. He had chimes, he had incense, he had a little, I don't know if it's shrine, if you'd like to call it, like a little offering plate and stuff like that. So I understood it. It's something I did with him as a child. So being renewed is what I like to call it, into meditation. But the other night, so I had been meditating after having a spiritual guide that I was introduced to through Pharaoh. She gave me some meditations to listen to and said to, listen to these and drink a certain drink. So I said, okay. So I had been doing it last winter, and through that I had started to work out, started to get myself together. So when I started back recently, I'm like, I need that jolt again. So I started doing the meditations, but I wasn't getting it. I wasn't able to separate my two. So I'm in the meditation, and like you said, a lot of stuff was coming into my mind. So this night in particular, I had a financial goal that I was trying to crush for the week. I crushed it, and at the end of it, I said, I'm going to reward myself with a very long meditation session.
Right.
But what I did was I took 1 square of the mushroom chocolate bar.
Nice.
And I took it, and I went and laid down, and it, with the meditation music, it put me to sleep.
Right.
But now I'm in the meditation, but I'm meditating, but I fall asleep, and in it I see black, and then I see blue portals, like blue circles, and it's coming towards me, and then I come out of it, and I get up, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm here.
Right.
So I start walking, and as I start walking, I go to what I believe to be someone that I know's door. I don't know who, but I'm like, okay, this is such and such's door.
Right.
And as I go to the door, I open up the door, and there's a cat inside. And as I see the cat, it looked like a cat I was familiar with. But when I went to like greet it, it hissed at me, and it ran at me with both claws open like this, and it chased me out of my meditation. So I actually had a very scary meditation situation where now I was scared to go back to sleep, because I'm like, oh dip. Something just tried to attack me in that world, in that realm. Something is wrong. So now I need to know, why did that happen? You can answer please first, but then please tell me what happened to your kid.
Well, you is pretty simple. You had mushrooms. You hallucinated.
I had a little piece, though.
It don't matter.
Hey,
listen.
You got to have 6 squares to hallucinate. Just 1 square.
Hey, listen. You had a little something, and it triggers something. No, I don't know. I don't know these things. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm no. It's like, I just think that whatever happened in that meditation, I think there's many kinds of meditation. First of all, like there's so many different kinds of meditation, and I guess I'm most curious about the meditation that that allows you to look and experience self with a capital S, like not the egoic self that you've created, that you've added to. You know, we were talking about that earlier, right? You've added degrees and experiences, all that sort of stuff. I can do that with my eyes open and stuff. Right, but I'm talking about the self that's unmanifested, that's unchanging, that just is
the real
you.
I
am, the I am that's just there. You know, I'm talking about that, and so for me, it's more insight meditation that I'm into. I'm not so much, because people talk about like focus the mind. You know, like in schools they really want me to come in and because it helps with test scores, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they're like, so you're telling me that the kids are going to do better on exams now, right? I'm like, well, that is like a byproduct of it, right? But how about have a greater understanding of self, to be more empathetic and compassionate? That's what I'm into.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually we're talking about freedom, because I'm sorry, if someone is still able to push your buttons, you ain't free.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I don't know what kind of freedom you have if that person over there could do next to you, your blood pressure's all up and you ain't free. Like if your reactions are always habitual,
right,
and there's no space, what meditation does is create that space. Something has happened, right? Something has happened. And then there's some space, and then there's a response.
Right.
That's the freedom. The freedom is right in that space, right? But what most people is like, something happens, what, goddamn, and next thing you know, and then they had to apologize later. I've been there, trust me. I'm like, dang, I shouldn't have said that. damn, I really, I've been fired in my life. People don't understand this. I've been fired in my life 3 times. And every time I was fired because my mouth, I said things I shouldn't have said. Or I did something I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I didn't have meditation. I like to think now I won't get fired.
Let's take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of HJCourtierAuto.com. That's HJCourtierAuto.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to that next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other.
But it's not to say that you don't feel that feel. So if somebody pushes your button, it's not to say that you don't feel the feeling anymore. But as opposed to being reactive, you give yourself a moment to feel it, understand it, digest it, if you will, and then respond, knowing that maybe whatever they're trying to push has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with them.
Has nothing.
It's a them problem.
It's I mean, I'm happy you said that because I think that's a huge misconception. Like people think that once you start meditating and whatnot, you're not going to get angry anymore.
No, that's not the case at all.
I still get angry. I'm just not going to let something mess up my whole day.
Yeah, right,
yeah.
And in this moment, I'm angry. What does this feel like? What does anger feel like in my body? Well, there's heat in my chest right now. And I'm feeling like some stiffness in my neck. And I really get curious about the anger. Get really curious about it.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you notice how like all things, all sensations, all thoughts even, they arise and they pass away.
Yeah.
And if you sit long enough, you notice that all things are subject to change.
Right.
All things. And so change is the one guarantee we all have, right? And you start to embrace that in meditation, that ability to change. And so that's why, going back to what you were saying, Pharaoh, about your meditation and the anger, and I think I don't look at meditation as emptying the mind or no thoughts. Thoughts are going to happen. the question is, can you sit with those thoughts? And can you at times watch those thoughts just float by and just, oh, okay. But you're not attached to them.
Right, yeah.
You're like you're a witness. You're just, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you want to punch that person in the face. Yeah, okay. All right.
Interesting.
And you're just watching it. You're observing. You're observing. And there's something powerful about being able to observe and listen. I get caught up in thoughts. When you notice you got caught up in a thought, all right, let me come back to my breath now. But it's how you come back to your breath. I think I said this is the most important thing in meditation. Love and kindness, like patience and kindness towards yourself. If you're in meditation and you're making it like a workout, like, oh, I'm not doing it right, and you're stressing out, I don't care if you sat there for an hour. If that's the energy you were cultivating, it's not. That's not what it's about. If you practice 5 minutes, but your 5 minutes is non-judgmental, it's kind, and you're patient with yourself. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter whether you were focused for the 5 minutes. You were able to cultivate some non-judgment and kindness and patience with yourself.
See, I love this, and I think this is a good segue to go into, because people who are listening, and there's some people who've never meditated before. There's some people who've seen the event that we're going to deep dive about in a moment, and who are wanting to come out, but they're a little apprehensive because they're like, okay, what to expect? If I never meditated before, can I come and learn how to meditate? Yeah. So they want to learn something. So maybe we could use the opportunity to, like you're saying, you're already giving some tips and tricks, but for those who maybe it's the first time meditating, right? What are some of the things that they should be mindful of? And then if we could start going into the event and what to expect coming up.
I think it helps to find a place at first, a place that's quiet, but then eventually you can meditate anywhere. Yeah. But at first I think it might be helpful to find a place that's quiet, that you feel comfortable, that you feel safe. More importantly, you feel safe. Like especially us as Black people, sometimes, we're in environments we don't necessarily feel very comfortable. Like when you're at work and everyone is white, and you're like
afraid to be misunderstood, because while I'm meditating, I may begin to speak to myself, and then I look around and they got a white jacket on me. So I definitely understand that about being feeling like you're in a safe space, but also, once you become powerful enough, I think, or using it the way that you're supposed to, I think what happens, because I've had to meditate in a room full of people one time just to keep myself from having an anxiety attack, and didn't know that I was having anxiety. Just knew that I kept having this feeling like, oh my God. And I'm like, no, girl. Wow. What is happening to you? And that's how it started, like me talking to myself and then going into it like,
breathe.
Okay, all right, this is what's happening. Okay, that's fine. It's all right. Having that talk with myself, because it's the difference between them thinking that you're crazy and them knowing that you're crazy. Now, you can think I'm crazy. I'm sitting here talking to myself, but guess what? I'm grounding myself so I don't go postal on y'all.
Right.
So I actually experienced that in having that needing to say, okay, you know what? I don't have a quiet space right now. And you know what actually brought me to that? I was like, no, I could do this right here, because I seen a friend of mine, Muslim, and needed to pray. And there was nowhere for them to pray. And they had to pray in the midst of the madness. And watching her get down and make salat in front of people, I'm like,
okay.
That's powerful, man.
And they talking junk about her religion and saying all kinds of stuff, and like literally they fighting, and so that takes a lot.
Powerful.
That's a real power. That's a real power.
That's powerful. I saw someone at the gym the other day. I was stretching, but he came in the room. It was the time, the call to prayer. He had to pray. I'm one of those people, like when I travel, I always go by religious spaces, because I love seeing people pray. I may never end up in the actual place myself, but I love watching people. I love seeing people manifest their faith, how they exercise their faith. It's a beautiful thing. So to get back to what you were asking, I think space that's safe, that you feel, I think is so important at first. I think it helps. And be comfortable, like, so you don't have to sit like in full lotus. Right. You can just sit in a chair like this, with your feet on the ground, or you can lie down. You don't want to sleep, but if you do sleep, you just needed to sleep, and you try again the next day, and you be patient and kind with yourself. I say that all the time to people who come to like meditation circles. Just remember to be patient and kind with yourself.
That's a big thing.
Especially when you feel you don't deserve it, because there's always that voice in your head. Once again, that's not the I am.
No.
There's a voice in your head that says, "Oh, well, you're not worthy of it."
It's the imposter syndrome.
You gotta make sure you in those moments, patience and kindness towards yourself.
Would you say there's?
I'm sorry. What did you call it?
Imposter syndrome.
Got it. Note. A time frame. Now I have two questions, but it's one is time frame and one is the difference between guided meditation, or just nothingness.
I like when I learned it was unguided.
Unguided.
The person was just like, sit down, find a comfortable position. What they meant like in cross-legged. I couldn't cross my legs at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And for the next 20 minutes, visualize. You can think about a symbol. You can meditate on your breath. You can, and then he would stop talking for 20 minutes. That was it. So after 1 minute, my eyes were open.
What's happening here?
I was like, how long are we going to stay here? But after maybe the third day, I was maybe 3 minutes.
Right.
I say it's not so much the time though. It's the energy, it's the intention, it's the way, because obviously it does take a while for the mind to settle down, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if your meditation is 5 minutes, I'm not sure if you're going to experience moments of like no thought, but a longer meditation might allow you to do that. But once again, there should be no goal in meditation. I think to meditate with a goal is not to meditate. You turn it into another thing. You know what I mean? Nice. Like let it just be a space of just being. I'm just going to be right now.
Right.
And and let go of all expectation. That's one thing I would say. When you sit down to meditate, let go of all expectations. Like, you might not become like enlightened. You might not see stuff. Like let go of all expectations. And the need to be good at it, let go of that as well.
Right.
Like the need to do it right. And just say, I'm going to sit here or I'm going to lie here and I'm going to be open to the experience of this moment, and start there. And so for guided, there's beautiful guided meditations. I do guided meditations there's some on Insight Timer and some on the website. But I know that I don't think it's good to stay there. I think at first, sure, and every now and then, it's fun, it's cool. But I think it's important to be able to just sit without any guidance at some point. Yeah. Maybe not right away, but at some point. I think that's important.
Because everyone learns differently. Because I know that I tried the guided one, and every time they started talking, I jolt out of where I am. I was like, this isn't for me. So you got to learn what works for you and what not.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I like of when I listen to your podcast is the formula, because it's like you started with an introduction and you get people prepared, and then there's that like it's silence or just like kind of ambient.
Yeah, music.
Music in the back, and then you close with like a kind of storyline, and I find the average time is usually between 15 to 17 minutes.
That's it.
And I'm like I'd like so it's something we could do routinely, and it does what it's supposed to do. And I definitely appreciate it. And so, all right, so now for our listeners who want to hear more about this event coming up, what to expect, how it's going to go, like let's dive a little bit.
We're in promo mode now. Let's get the promo voice. The promo out for joy, February the 11th. Out for joy. That's the name of this one-day retreat, one-day wellness retreat, intergenerational. The goal is to have teens there, young adults our age, and the seniors above us, the baby boomers, all in the same space. We're going to have Brenda Paris is going to give the opening. That's going to be good. And then followed by myself, we'll do a meditation, bit of a sound bath. And then there's going to be chair yoga. And I say chair yoga, so for all the people that, I want to do yoga on mats. Well, listen, sometimes it's not about you.
Right.
It's about what's accessible for everyone.
Right.
And chair yoga is accessible for everyone. And so I think it's so important because you might have some younger people that this might be just perfect for them. They just don't want to do all that, you know.
Right.
You don't want to get all sweaty, and it's not about the sweat. It's not about the workout that day. Some
That's
people
it.
look at you, I want to get a workout. Not that day.
Okay.
It's about really being in the same space. And so then there's going to be song with Sam I Am. I'm like, her name is Samantha.
Yeah.
It's full circle. We've been talking. I said, you know, I remember in 2005 when you did the first book launch, my first book launch, she sang at my first book launch. And now in 2023,
Wow.
we get to do something again. I said, this is beautiful.
Come full circle.
You
I love
know,
it.
and so she's going to be doing a workshop on voice.
Okay.
So for people like myself that love to sing but can't, you know what I mean, that, you know, can't hold a note.
Right, yeah,
But it's
me
like,
too.
it's just using your instrument. It's going to be great. It's going to be, Rowan, of course, is going to do storytelling.
Okay.
You're going to have self-massage, learn how to massage yourself and all that good, which is really important. And then we're going to close out with Westcan. Nice. Going to be doing dance.
Nice.
You know? And so I look forward. It's going to be a beautiful day. The real intention is what happens when we come together of different generations in the same space to connect on joy and saying, you know what? Let's see each other. Let's listen to each other. Let's do something together. These different activities together. We're gonna eat together.
Yes.
You know, and
It's funny you said that. I was about to ask. I was like, so a person who just wants to come and spend the full day there, and that was something I was trying to understand. The intention is the intention to get for people to come and fit in like whatever slot they resonate more with, or to come and spend the day with you guys.
it's a retreat. So hopefully you do the whole day. But
Okay.
if your body or your heart is like, oh no, I just need. The Phi Center is huge. There's a space in the back where you can just hang out, just still be there, but maybe you don't want to participate in one session.
Right.
Or maybe something is too triggering. Like, I think it should always be open. But just as long as you're in that space.
Okay.
Because there's not many spaces where we're together with different generations.
Facts.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what made last Saturday I went to like a roller skating event organized by my homegirl Sarah Gagné.
Nice.
And it was in Delson. I'd never been to Delson. I didn't know what Delson was. But to see all of us black people with people our age with their kids out there, it was not alcoholic event.
Right.
So some people were like, but it was the energy was
Right.
beautiful.
Nah,
I told people, I said, this is just as important as a retreat. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And I said, we need more of this.
Right.
To see teens, you know how much I love your kids.
Of course.
Like, I love talking to kids. I love being like, hey, I see you. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I see you. I can learn from you. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
it.
You know, and so to have that opportunity, I think it's beautiful. You know, so
This is exciting.
So we kept saying event, and we didn't say where it was. We didn't say what it was called.
Yeah,
We
you
didn't say-
you
of
clearly
joy.
zoned out because he said full of joy is the
Out for
event.
joy.
No,
Out
it's
for
out
joy.
for joy.
Out for joy.
But that's why I knew it wasn't said because I didn't hear
You
out
didn't say out
for
for
joy.
joy?
Yes, it said out for joy.
I heard you
did
say
you?
it's just. I just
Okay,
missed
then,
the anchor.
you know what?
But we didn't
I
say
meditated. I went and meditated. That's what I
That's
did.
right. She's like, listen, that took me somewhere else
You know
already.
what? You know I just did a little meditation, guys.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he just said the Fine Center. I'm like, Gina, where you at?
You did say the Fine Center. You really did. You did say the Fine Center twice.
Hey, we're gonna be patient and kind with ourselves.
But that's the thing.
That's why
I heard what the name of it was and the date,
Right.
but I did not hear the location.
Phi Center. Yeah, she heard. Oh, she heard Phi
Yeah, see,
Center.
And you know what? You
Bits
said
and
5
pieces.
cents, and in my mind said 5%. I'm like 5%.
Hey,
So
this is not that event, but
Yeah.
I'm with that as well.
We're
though.
about that life.
I'm with that
Go
as well.
ahead.
But yeah, the Phi Center,
Right.
The Phi Center is a beautiful venue.
Yes.
And for us to be there, you know, it's going to be good. It's going to be special. You know, and on February the 11th, which is a significant day here in Montreal, you know,
Which is
in '69, that's when, you know, at Sir George William campus, that's when the students were like, oh, y'all don't want to, okay, oh, well, we're gonna do a little uprising, and
Word.
y'all want to try to screw us out of what our rights,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna respond.
yeah.
You know,
wow. It's a
so
historical day in
February
truth.
11th,
Word.
Brenda put me onto that.
Okay. Yeah.
She says February 11th is significant, Fimo. I said, really? She said, oh, it's significant. So I had to run my Googles.
Nice, yo. So this is what it is now, and there's something you and I had spoken a little bit offline, and I had like the pricing structure too, because the goal is to get everybody.
And the
in.
time.
I-
You know
can
what,
I
that's what
talk
it was.
about
It was
that?
the
Please.
time frame, because you said either coming for segments or the whole day.
Yeah, we start at 10,
Okay.
and it ends at 4. So
Okay.
I really want everyone to come for the whole day.
Yeah.
Because it's something about, even if you look at the title of the workshop, you're like, I don't know, that's for me. We did a retreat in the summer, and there was guys that were like, I don't know if I want to do dance, and everyone was into dance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So just like I said, the same openness you bring to your meditation, it's all
Yeah.
about openness. You know, because the mind's gonna try to protect you,
Facts.
keep you where you are, and some people, the mind is a prison, and so like there's always a key to get out. There's always a key, you know, and so hopefully this is an opportunity, you know, and so 10 to 4, and it's 5 center 10 to 4 price and structure. I'm a big fan of sliding scales because you know, we didn't grow up with much money, and so many times, like I would have been an NHL. I tell it all the time. I would have been a hockey player. It's a tremendous hockey player, but my parents couldn't afford. We're 6 kids.
Right,
they couldn't afford.
That's like one of the most expensive sports to be into.
There's no way we could afford it.
Yeah.
But I always say this. I know what it's like. So when I do events, best believe it's always going to be affordable.
Yeah, that's
Even if that means, like I told you in my long rant, I don't make the profit that, you know.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll figure it out later.
Exactly.
For me, the most important thing is that the community understands, hey, listen, I see you, and this is for you.
Yes.
You know, we could easily take this over to Westmount and charge them big money.
Yeah.
But they already have access to what they do.
Facts.
I want us to have our opportunity, you know. So it's $20 for seniors because we really want to bring the seniors out. So they got a special rate, $20 for seniors. And with that, you get full day, and you got Gitana, who's going to be doing delicious Afro-vegan food.
Nice.
It's just, you know, and you got Shannon Food and Things. She's going to be doing like some snacks and stuff.
Okay, cool. Dope.
You know, and I think there's going to be even a swag bag.
Nice.
You know,
Getting stuff, right.
You know, and so then reduced contribution is $35 for the whole day.
Okay.
Then there's $50, and then there's $70 for those that, you know, you're doing good and you want to spend some.
And you want to support the cause.
Sow some seeds.
You want to support When the Village Meditates. We need it.
Right, yeah.
Support. Because trust me, we're not in this for the money. We're in this for the freedom.
Yes.
This is a freedom song. You know what I mean?
Amen. So this has been exceptional. 2 more things before we close up quick. Contact info, just so everybody could know where to reach you. I'm looking at time. I was going to try to get you to do a quick little meditation on air with us, but I'll see. At least play some sounds. But all right, we'll see how we can close off. And you already know I like to have our guests leave us with some empowering words or something.
Yeah.
All right. So contact info for those who want to reach out to you guys.
Instagram, When the Village Meditates.
Okay.
And whenthevillagemeditates.com.
Simple.
Yeah, When the Village Meditates. It's really simple. And if you forget all that, Fimo Mitchell, also very simple to find. There's only one Fimo Mitchell. So I can never do anything bad.
Right, because they'll know it's you.
You know?
I love that. So good. So, Brother Fimo, so as you know, you're here with us on Parlay with the People. This is the Empower Hour show. We like to always leave our guests with something empowering. So what do you have for our guests today?
Yeah, I knew this was coming, so I was like, man, what word what word do I have? You know, what word do I have? And lately it's 2 words, start again. You know, and I feel like if we can just remember that each moment is an opportunity to start again. So let's say we didn't get it right. That moment that just went by right there, we didn't get it right. Okay, this moment I can start again. Wow. You know, and just knowing that it's such a simple practice, but it prevents us from like getting stuck in this mindset of oh man, I've messed up, and now as long as you have breath, you can always start again. And so to remember that, like this moment right here, right now, whatever you've done, whatever has happened, is an opportunity to start again. You know, like because a lot of times there's so many things that happen to us, and it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility to handle it.
Fact.
To you know, to learn how to navigate through it, to work through it. We can start again right now, and we're not going to change everything. Maybe just a little increment, right? A little increment, and that's so for me lately. It's just been remembering to start again,
Brother Fimo. That means volumes, because I know there's a lot of people who live in regret. And that it's a vicious thing. So brother, thank you for that. I want to thank you. When we come off, I'm still gonna have you just leave us with some sounds, just I could use as B-roll, throw in backgrounds, because I know you got your sound bowl. You have to have it. You always do. I know you, Fimo.
I'm always down for a sound bath.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna get you to do it. I'll use it as something I'll splice into the show. Andrew, I know you're hearing this, so we'll figure that out. But no, honestly, I want to thank you for coming on with us today.
You're always breaking the fourth wall.
What? You know, this is the reality. I think our listeners are used to this by now. But no, honestly, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have you on here. I'm glad to have connected with you in this life experience. For what you're doing for us, for the community at large, it speaks volumes. It's life changing. I want to just continue to encourage you. I want to encourage the community to come out for the day. I think it is well worth it just to come line for the day. Clear your calendar. You have enough time. You're hearing it now. You're hearing it early. Clear your calendar and be there for the day and relax in line.
I'm not gonna lie. I went through certain things like, I want to go 10 a.m. It's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that's early. I was like, quit playing. It's 10 a.m. Something like that. I went through this whole thing this whole time. Since I heard it was at 10, and I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna go.
You see, good.
This is why it's good to have a team, because initially I was like, we'll start at 8.
Oh, I love
And I was like,
nope.
And then people were like, Fimo, everyone's not on
the same vibe as you, Fimo. Everyone's not up at 5 a.m., Fimo, like you and Pharaoh, who just said, "Hey, you up, my G? Good, because I got."
I had to put my alarm on.
Fimo be leaving all voice notes, all kind of early mornings. But anyways,
my 5 o'clock alarm got to say like, "Your dad's dead" or something to make me wake up, because otherwise I'm turning it off.
Yeah.
It got to be like somebody screaming, "Oh no!" Because otherwise I'm not waking up to the.
Those are my alarms, but my do not disturb does not come off until 8:55, until 7:55, and I'm up before that. I just don't want to be disturbed.
I like that though. That's boundaries.
Yeah.
No boundaries. We didn't talk about that, but boundaries. Listen, especially for us as Black people, right?
Yes.
Like we don't grow up with that vocabulary. I didn't grow up with that vocabulary.
Yeah,
like
boundaries.
But it's what allows me to love myself and love you at the same time. So it's so important. You know what I mean? Because I want to love you.
2 words today.
I want to love you.
Yeah.
I want to I want to.
Yeah.
But I want to love me too.
Facts.
You know, I gotta love me first.
And I got
so I
limits.
need to set these boundaries so that we can have that relationship. And that's why boundaries are so important. I used to think boundaries, what's going on? Some white people don't want families to be close. When you go home, you gotta stay with your parents.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta stay with your maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have to. I'm just saying maybe. Be open to the possibility.
They're not gonna like it at first, but they get used to it.
Boundaries,
Speaking from experience.
Good. Guys, so this has been another exceptional interview, exceptional parley with the people. Again, Brother Fimo, thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Kings and Queens, this was the Empower Hour with Pharaoh Freeman, Queen Kaya, and Gina the Great. We are on live every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and broadcasting Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. on CKUT 90.3 FM. Hopefully you got your dose of entertainment, enlightenment, and empowerment. Subscribe and watch us on empowermtl.com and email us at empowermtl@gmail.com to anonymously be featured on our What's the Tea Mail segment. Stay blessed, Black, and highly favored.